Hmm. Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm. We should just have a whole episode of us just going,
Mm-hmm.
mm-hmm.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
It's like just like two apes at the zoo. Just
Exactly. I'll just start picking
don't
ticks
feed
off
the
your
animals.
body.
What are you drinking?
Some kind of seltzer.
Mm-hmm.
Cherry.
Mm-hmm. It's cold in here.
It's actually nice out now. The sun came out. It's kind of like 40-something degrees. Still 6 feet of snow on the ground. But, we take the wins with the losses.
Somebody messaged me and they're like, why do you always look like you're cold on the podcast? And the answer is because I am cold on the podcast. This is an
That's the way it was for me.
uninsulated room. The furnace is right there, but it's never on when we're recording. And so it's cold seat.
I miss my kill dungeon from the previous house, but, you got to adapt.
I do. Yep. Something like that. You got 25 seconds, Paul. Use it wisely. Probably.
Snow emergencies issued for several central Ohio counties Friday. I assume you're like a southern Ohio.
Yeah, we're not supposed to get anything, I don't think, unless this is some sort of news to me. 10-day. Doesn't say.
I woke up this morning, it was snowing again. It's great.
At least it was different.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, there's a little bit of snow right above. But that can't be what's causing those warnings. I don't know.
7.
Today's podcast is sponsored by Security Unlocked, a new podcast from Microsoft focusing on artificial intelligence, machine learning, and security. And check out the links in the description below. What?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Just trying to... God damn it.
I mean, we could end it here if it's not bad.
Sorry. It doesn't matter. Anyway, how you doing?
I was a little sensitive about the weather.
Yeah.
So you know what we haven't talked about all week, because I forgot that happened between what we talked about on Friday and what is this Friday. I got my new automated blind, Paul.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, got it installed.
I actually I took some pictures of one in a restaurant because I was like, maybe we should get some of these. Do you have a picture?
I mean, it's a cellular blind, like it's a blind, like it's
who's the manufacturer? So I can look this thing up.
Levolor, Levolor, I think.
And then it's what do you call it? A automated blind?
Yeah, but it's a cellular blind.
Cellular.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it kind of like, I don't know.
Oh, it's like the accordion. Hexagonal or whatever shape.
Yep. Yeah. You pull it down and it does like light diffusing. It's automated, and it's 107 inches wide. Yeah. Mm-hmm. But it came in a box. No joke. The box was like 14 feet. I mean, because they probably have standard size boxes, and like it was literally on our porch, leaning up and hitting the gutter.
Let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
Because maybe you know this. Is there such a thing as a blind or anything like a blind that comes up from the bottom rather than coming down from the top, right? Like you can almost imagine a room where you want like almost like a privacy block on your lower half. I'm not saying I want to walk around naked. I'm just
an
completely theoretical here. No, but you know what I'm saying, right?
So
you might want to look out.
So the blinds that very similar to like what a cellular blind. Actually, I think cellular blinds do it. Like you can actually get them so you can pull down from the top, and then like the top is open.
Pull down from the top. So yes, yeah.
And then if you want the whole thing collapses up.
That would be useful.
Yeah. So got this thing installed. It was quite the ordeal. It's not hard to install, but it was just like the gangliness of this massive thing. Mm-hmm. And it runs on, no joke, 12, and I repeat, 12 AA batteries.
Oh, stop.
Yeah.
But is there another way?
Well, yeah, you can like have it powered like into the wall if you want. But then you have like a cord running from it, and I opted not.
Yeah,
not,
yeah, yeah. Okay.
not to do that.
But can you operate them manually, or are they only powered?
I haven't tried manually, but it came with a remote. So you just point at it and go boop, and then it goes and back up. And then it can also be operated from your cell phone via Bluetooth. And you can set timers in there, and they've already not worked. So
Very good. Very good. Well, it is technology.
yeah, but I will like for this size, it makes sense to get it automated. But I don't. I
I
don't
like the
know.
look of this. This might be a sunroom option for us.
Yeah, like I don't know if I would want to do my whole house in them because first off, the cost from like a normal like be a peasant, use yourself, like lift it yourself, like walk over there.
It has like a string with a circular thing at the bottom, and it flaps up like real.
These don't even have that. Like you just literally just grab the bottom and it's pushed up. Like they're super. Like they're honestly pretty good. I like them. But the difference between like a normal peasant blind and like an automated blind is no joke, like 2x the cost. Like it's a big jump to go from being able to push a button to being able to like, and I don't know if it's worth it for all of them. Like this window, it's worth it because it's behind the couch. It's kind of a pain in the butt to get to. And it's so like wide that it would be whatever.
Okay.
So anyways, it's installed. It is operated.
Here's how you can tell this might actually happen. It's not just me talking. I'm going to send a link to my wife.
So she doesn't just.
She's more of she's more of a get it done kind of person. I'm more of a talk it up and then forget about it. And what are we watching on TV again kind of person.
Yeah, I can relate to that, but I'm usually the one that
gets it done.
Yeah, it was super easy to install. Now you can pay people to install them. I like. Realistically, if you're going to do a whole house, it honestly might just make sense to like call somebody and have them come out and just measure and then do the whole darn thing. I didn't because I'm cheap and
you're also good at this kind of stuff.
Yeah, I kind of enjoy it to some irrational degree. That way, if it screws up, I know how to fix it mostly because it will screw up. But it's nice. Something like along with the new lights in the living room that we installed with that blind. It was like.
Would you call it transformational?
I don't know if I call it transformational. I would call it
an upgrade at least.
Yeah, especially the lights. I mean, like it was quite literally at the point before where my kid would struggle to read in the living room because she's like, "Where's the light?" And then like sweet real lamp, one lamp.
So if I could just make a prediction about your future trajectory, now that you've done a lot of work on this house, and I know you've at least thought about maybe expanding at some point or whatever. You should do that, and then you should decide you want to buy another house. I think that would be the right way forward. So
like my wife and I were talking about this. Like we would like to do like an overhaul of the front porch, but that's pretty substantial because that involves like pouring concrete, and I don't know if I want to get into the business of pouring concrete. But then other than that, like the house is just kind of like where we would want it without doing anything. We're gonna paint it like the interior, but like that painting is painting. That's nothing.
So you need to start spending some money again. So something else.
Yeah, it's been a few weeks. Let's.
That's what home ownership is, Brad. It's you put your feet up and your wife's like, hey, you got an extra room to add on to the back of the house. Let's go.
See, like part of me is delusional. I was like, man, I wonder if I could actually build like an addition. Like you can have somebody come out and pour the pad. Like I bet I could.
I think you could.
I bet I could. It would take me a while and a long time. But like looking through the mechanics of like what you actually have to do, like I don't.
That's the dream right there, Brad. So I've always this has been my theory about homes for a long, long time. You could buy land fairly cheaply. If you could build it yourself or most of it yourself, it would be inexpensive. I know the little quotes around that, but inexpensive to build a house, the whole house. The land. Like normally when you buy a house, like the house is the expensive house and land, right? Are both expensive. But I mean, if you just buy the land, it's whatever the cost. Put a house on it.
Yeah, it's not.
You could do it cheap if you didn't have a contractor do all of it.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's something. I feel like that's something you could do.
I feel like
and I would
crazily
like you to do it for me,
I
can't do it. So.
Like I understand all the basics, or like the process and what would have to be done. Yeah. Again, I would definitely pay someone to pour the concrete because that's if you screw that up, there's no going back.
YouTube videos, you'd be fine.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. Nailing a board up, you could take it down. That's quite literally why I built my basement with screws and not nails. Is so that when I screwed it up, pun
Interesting.
unintended.
Literally.
I
Very
could
good.
I could back it out and adjust it, which I had to do in a few spots.
Sure.
So, anyways, but as Kyle points out, actually, right now is a terrible time to be doing this because the price of lumber is like through the roof. It is starting to come back down, but it's like 3x. It was like up to like 3x the standard cost. Like, so.
It's also one of my pet peeves. You watch those house hunter shows. They're on some island in the Caribbean looking at a house, and the guy goes, it's local wood. Yeah. You didn't ship wood across the ocean to bring it here? Of course it's local wood. What else would you use?
Yeah.
Like what? It's like there's this local stone in the cabinet and the countertop. Well, yeah. No one's putting stone on a ship and bringing it here so I can have a counter. Some people probably do that, but I mean, locals.
It is funny you bring that up because all the fireplaces in our neighborhood have they're pretty decorative limestone. Yeah. And I remember when we were looking at like houses and whatever, it would say Indiana limestone, like as if that was some feature. Like where else they get like Indiana's like 30 minutes
By the
that way.
The entire state of Pennsylvania is made of limestone. Yeah. So nobody's going to brag about the limestone. It's like, just the thing we have to get through to get to the dirt. It's
like, oh, look, another fireplace that's covered in Indiana. Like, it's pretty limestone. I don't have a problem with it, but it's like really like, it's not like Italian marble.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. I mean, technically they did bring it across state lines or something like that.
Sure. Probably in the dead of night when no one was paying attention.
It's just
during some kind of a...
You've heard of rum running. Well,
yeah, exactly.
We got some limestone licking for you.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't know. What are we doing?
I don't know.
Anyway, so here's a thought for you, Paul. Here's a thought. So Microsoft is getting pretty deep into this, bringing Android apps to Windows. They're chatting with Google right now, and okay. Here's a question for you. So let's pretend that we're in a world where they bring Android apps to Windows. Do you go, and this is assuming that they have to be connected to the Google Play Store, because Android apps without...
By the way, that is the big question, right?
Right.
And that's what I was wondering if you're going to ask me about that, because...
Oh, no, we're going one step further.
Google Play Store or not is the big question.
Right. So assuming that they're connected to the Google infrastructure, because a lot of these apps will be useless without that functionality.
Yep.
I believe one of the sticking points right now for Microsoft with the Googles is you're on your Windows 10 PC. Do you go to the Microsoft Store to download your Google infused app? Or do you go to a Google Play Store that is now on Windows 10?
Yeah. Understanding the complexities of either approach, because there are complaints to be made either way. And noticing that I didn't clean up my garbage back there for some reason before we started the show. Fantastic. I will just point out that the Google Play Store approach is the right way to do it. And the reasons are many, but one of the big ones is is just the complexity of how you identify apps to be certain things, which Microsoft does not like to do in the store. If you search for Microsoft Word in the Microsoft Store today on Windows 10, you probably get like a Microsoft 365 advertisement or something. But if there were multiple versions of those apps, it would be confusing, Yeah. And I think unfortunately, you can make different cases for, a UWP app versus a desktop app that's in some kind of a container, whatever they call it, or a web app, same thing, that might be packaged to be in the store. Okay, they're all kind of apps, but when you're running an Android app, it's an Android app, and I feel like those need to be segregated, just so it's clear in people's minds when they're doing it, what they're doing. Like that you explicitly go, because I want to run I'm trying to think for some reason, like you'd want to run an Android app, whatever it is, the Sonos app or something, or whatever. So that would be my vote. But is this a theoretical question, or do you have a...
Well, I think this is a sticking point currently with Microsoft and Google. I think this is where they're running into friction, because Google would clearly love to have their own store on a billion more devices, known as Windows PCs. Microsoft very clearly obviously knows that if they put the Google Play Store onto Windows 10, there's now 2 stores, and they've lost a lot of leverage potentially of where the user's going.
We already have multiple places to get apps. I mean, people get apps from the web. Gamers get apps from various, Epic, Steam, whatever. I don't know. I see both sides, of course. I mean, I completely understand the argument. I will point out, by the way, if you have a Chromebook and you want to install an Android app, you do it through the Google Play Store, right? Not through the Chrome, whatever they call it, the Chrome Web App Store or whatever. I don't know. I think the way this becomes a selling point to Windows users is it literally is the experience you have on Android.
Interesting. We'll see. I mean, I don't have the answer. Like this is
about it. It's already full of nonsense, right? 90% of what's in there is garbage, and they do a pretty good job of surfacing some decent apps, obviously. You're going to add how many apps are in the Google Play Store? It's going to be crazy.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I think you want to keep that separate.
Yeah.
It'd be a big day if that ever happened.
It will be. It'll be a huge day. I mean, that I don't want to say it changes the trajectory of Windows, but it changes how a lot of people are probably going to operate on Windows, though. I mean, the Sonos app, like you just mentioned, is a perfect example. I would download that almost right away.
Yeah, and think about the ramifications of that for Sonos, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because and Sonos is a great example because Sonos is on both sides of the fence, so to speak. They have a controller app for the Windows, which is garbage.
Yeah, it's terrible.
Sure, they have a similar one for the Mac. Well, now you can run their mobile app on both desktop platforms. I mean, or including Chrome OS. Let's just get rid of the crap. And there you go. There's one less desktop app in the world, right? Which is the thing Microsoft is like, I understand the pushback, but I feel like we've gone through enough pretending that UWP makes sense and, blah, 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 whatever. And Microsoft's at the point where they're like, look, just let everyone, developers, users, whatever, choose the technologies that they want to use. And I think this would be a big step in as a proof point of that, belief. Anyway, it's not 100% on either side, but that would be where I would land it.
Yeah. Well, things that are 100%, Paul, is that my friends over at Microsoft, Evangelist Nick and Natalia, have a new podcast called Security Unlocked, where they take a closer look at the latest innovations in threat intelligence, security research, and data science with a special focus on demystifying artificial intelligence. And they just dropped a new episode, I believe this week, actually 2 days ago, talking about email attacks and that good stuff and having your identity stolen and just how easy it is for someone to steal your credentials. You can find links down in the description below and give that a listen. It's I don't want to say it's one of their better episodes, but it was. I listened to it. Yes.
Who's the other? It's Nick and who else?
Nick and Natalia.
Natalia.
Mm-hmm.
We should do. We should have them on sometime, Brad.
Yeah, we could.
We're just getting like advertising. Bring them on and make them do some work.
And you and I can just be in the background going,
right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Just like we talked about doing a whole episode of
the change. That'd be fun.
So anyways, we've got blinds, we've got Windows stores, we've got 2004 is finally available for everybody. Again, this is one of those things I don't actually ever follow through on, but I always wonder, and I looked at the last couple of versions, like how things change over time. And this moving of Windows 10 version 2004 to what's the phrase, full deployment, a broad deployment, right? Mm-hmm. Which should mean that unless you have some hardware peripheral that's a real blocker, like you should be able to get it if you look for it, right? Yeah.
I feel like the amount of time between the release of a version of Windows and the time it hits broad deployment has gone up. And it certainly has over the past two versions. This product was finalized a year ago. It didn't actually ship to the public until about seven months ago. But, and of course, there's been a newer version since, and any time now, any month or two or whatever, it's going to be another one, It just seems like that's a long time, especially for such a minor release.
It does seem like they've kind of maybe not pumped the brakes, but when Windows 10 launched, they were like hell-bent on we're launching 2 updates per year. It's going to land on time, and we got to prove that we're nimble, fast, and fluent, or whatever you want to use. And now it just feels more like, that one's good.
That's fine, but
it's fine. I'm not complaining.
Well, but the dark side of the problem with it is there's this support lifecycle thing, and versions of Windows go out of support, and so it's weird that not everyone on 1903 is already on 1909 or newer. I think that's weird. And then if you're going to certify this thing for 2004, why isn't 20H2 in the same place? They're just the same thing. They're literally the same thing.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just find it odd, but
I find you odd, and yet I'm still here. So.
There you go.
Come on, you laid that one up there. Like that was.
I know that's I was mad more at me than at you, honestly, because you can. As I said that, I was like, oh God,
You got anything planned for the snowy weekend? You should go sledding. Film yourself sledding.
I'm not doing that.
Just shoot that down right now.
No, I've been working a lot on the book lately. So if you own the Windows 10 Field Guide, I've updated 7 or 8 chapters already this year. And I might actually finish another one today. But I don't send out updates as much as people used to complain, because if I do too much work and they're like, okay, we don't need an email every day. So I think after the next chapter update, I'll probably just send out an update that lists all the stuff that's up to date. But I'm hoping within a couple weeks I'll be done updating it for the latest version. So Microsoft can release another version. But anyway, I think that's going to be a lot of what I'm doing. What are you doing? Putting on an addition to your house?
No, like I actually kind of regret saying that, because my wife will hear it and she'll be like, "Hey, we could like go buy a plot of land like in the middle of Ohio."
Yeah.
And
she's like, "I don't know what it is, but I have the word addition in my head now," and
it's not relating to our daughter's math. Like that's
yes.
We got
always ready to help. That's
we're going. My daughter's doing horseback riding lessons, which is just the highlight of every weekend. Standing in a barn, smelling
in a drafty barn in the winter, smelling barnyard smells.
Like we quite literally have a box.
I was gonna say that stuff must permeate your clothes.
Yep. We have a like Tupperware container in our box that when you get home, that's where like the coat goes, the gloves go, and everything goes, and it stays sealed in there.
So that we can cedar chips in there or something.
That's actually not a bad idea.
You should do something like that. I mean,
Yeah, I mean, if I ever smell like a horse's butt, like it's not.
I mean, allegations have been made.
Yeah, allegations. So we've got that, and then I don't know. I think it's just supposed to be cold. Like, unfortunately, thankfully, February is the shortest month of the year, because it's also the worst month in my opinion, just because there's just
like weather-wise and.
Well, that's why they put Valentine's Day in February. It's like, hey, look, you got to pretend to love your spouse, even though it's the worst month of the year. Like that's
right. Yeah. Yeah. Somebody observed to me last week that we're like a third of the way through the winter. I'm like, great. Like the worst part of it is still in front of us, and it's twice as long as what we've already experienced. So
yeah, like at least the first half has like Christmas, and then you've got the New Year's. At least we've got the Super Bowl this weekend. So.
Right. I gotta figure out a way to how I'm gonna watch that. I don't have a live TV thing anymore, but obviously I can get one easily enough. It must be on the web somehow, right? Or on something like some sort. Nothing. No.
I'm sure you could find one, but all you gotta do is find. It's who's broadcasting it? Is it CBS? I don't know.
No, it's not. It can't be CBS. It must be. Is it Fox?
NBC? I don't know. Well, if only we had some sort of search
pretty
engine.
Much run through most of the networks. Whatever it is. I mean, I'm just going to get like a trial subscription or something.
Look, it looks like it is CBS.
Is it really CBS? Why does that not seem right to me?
At least according to I Googled it, and it says NFL watching opportunities in your area, and it says CBS, ESPN Deportes, and NFL.
That's what I'm going to go with. I don't know what they mean.
Well, you don't have to listen to Joe Buck, so maybe that's a.
Thank you. Exactly.
Yeah, so you can do. So I don't know. There's 2 reasons I want Tampa Bay to win. One, he's probably not listening, but I don't want to listen to Todd Clint talk about how good the Chiefs are. And 2, I really want Tom Brady just to win at least one in another city, then he can retire. And then
just extend his middle finger to everyone who's ever doubted him.
Yes,
although I will say, just getting to number 10 is just
an
astonishing achievement.
I think LeBron is the only other,
and he's way more winning than LeBron. I mean, as good as LeBron is.
Yeah, they in my mind, they are same level. Obviously, different sport, but just the greatest of a generation
of their sport, and for sure.
So, yep. Yeah, we'll see. That's Sunday.
That Super Bowl last year that KC won was the crappiest Super Bowl I've ever seen in my life. So congratulations everybody. But hopefully this will be a better. Who'd they play? San Francisco, wasn't it? KC and
hold on.
San Francisco?
Super Bowl 20.
San Fran.
Yeah, it was San Francisco. I was wondering if it was actually the Patriots, and then this would have been like a hilarious rematch. Like Tom Brady like just comes out, he's like, I'm back. Like, but different team.
Yeah, it was a garbage game. So hopefully this will be a good game at least. I don't know. We'll see.
We will see. We don't have to wait too much longer. We'll be back on Monday. And so as a reminder, folks, today's podcast is brought to you by Security Unlocked. You can find links down in the description below or go directly to the site at securityunlockedpodcast.com.
I don't know why I made that sound. Something wrong with me.
I agree with that. So I have this, I don't know where we got this little timer, but the name of the company that made it is called Renrain. Renwain. It's the weirdest name.
Yeah.
Like,
plus, it looks like a prop from a 1970s space movie or something.
Yeah. It's actually powered by like lead acid batteries in here. So, all right.
I'll be here.